And welcome everybody here to another episode of the Reservation Roundup. I am Billy French, your voice of Tioga football, and always on Thursday nights here at Quebedeaux at 7 p.m. I am with your head coach of the Tioga Indians, Coach Kevin Cook, and we had a week off last week from the Reservation Roundup because we had a Thursday night game.
Yep.
But boy, that thing sure turned out pretty good, didn't it?
I'd play them all on Thursday if it all turned out like that. So
we pass up the show every Thursday night if we had outcomes like last week here, and we'll go into deep into that game here in just a minute. But week 6 coming into this into the season, man, this year has gone by so quick.
Yes,
Tioga coming in with a big win, like I said last week, over Gina, 65-26, and never would have thought that would have happened, at least that many points being scored, and as well as the offense has played all year. You know, Gina normally comes in and it's normally a slobber knocker, as they say, and but man, that Tioga offense, buddy, would look so good Thursday night.
Well, they definitely went off on Thursday, and I'm really proud for them. I'm proud for us. It was a deal that I don't think we expected either. It's just been so many years of a tight ball game with Gina, and very stingy in scoring. And I've said this a couple times since that ball game. We went for 3 years scoring, averaging 1 touchdown a game, and of course they won all 3 of those. And, for this year to be able to go out there and be able to score and never punt the whole night and just have the performance that our offense had was really rewarding.
And it's been a blessing because, going into, of course, Tioga now 2-3 here, kind of getting the momentum, getting that the confidence back. The offense has scored a lot of points this season. They've come in there and they've had a couple. The Pineville game, I think, was probably the least productive as far as on the offensive side, with a couple turnovers and all that.
Yeah.
But the offense has been able to put a lot of points on the board, but man, did that Mooter defense step up Thursday night and made some big plays. Defensive line, Tarver Landry had himself a night and knocked down a few balls on the 4th down. Of course, that was a big play.
A big play.
Huge play that forced the turnover on downs, and then the offense comes down there and scores. But love to see the way the secondary played. Karlinski had a good night, even though he was really outmatched in height, with that receiver for the Gina Giants.
He was, and I was proud for our defense. Coach Mooter, after week 3, I think we all just were looking at ourselves like, this is not right.
Right.
This is not who we are. It's not what we do. We had a couple weeks in a row that just weren't who we are, and defensively. And so he really went back to the drawing board, and and the way I've always worded it since that moment is he literally erased everything off that we've done in 9 years. And, this is our 10th year. 9 of those years, all that defensive stuff worked great. After week 3, we said, something's got to change. And so he went in and has really dug his feet into the ground. We call it, digging his cleats into the ground, and has really fired out and got our defense rolling. And I'm real proud for them. And I'm proud for our defensive coordinator,
Absolutely,
because he takes a lot of pride in what he does. And, so I'm really happy for them. And you can always go back and say what you could have, should have, or would have done. I'm proud for the lessons we learned in those first 3 weeks, just about ourselves even. And, I'd play any of those 3 games again tomorrow.
I would too. I'd be ever confident. Even struggling like we did a little bit in those first 3 games, we were in every one of those games. Could have finished.
You look at the week 1, you drop a pass late in the 3rd quarter that ties the ball game. In week 1 at Starlington, you go to Leesville, you miss a chip shot field goal. That gives you a chance to kick an onside kick. But once again, 2 turnovers in that ball game. We lost a turnover battle.
Yeah.
And then, week 3, we lose by 3 points, but we lose the turnover battle 3-0.
Yeah.
You can't win football games, and I don't know if you should win football games when you turn the ball over 3 times, the other team, and you don't get any.
Absolutely.
So they deserve to win, and that's the way football is played. So at all levels of football, that's the way it's played. But with The defense has really rose to the occasion the past few weeks. Our offense is doing what they do best, but they're also not turning the ball over.
Yeah.
And so they're not putting our defense in a bind. You know, we put ourselves in a bind week one. The first touchdown Sterlington scores, they get the ball inside the 30.
Right.
Well, I mean, you're not holding Sterlington High School out of the end zone when they get the ball in the 30. I don't care how Hook's defense it is. So, you know, but we're hanging on to the football. And we're doing something productive with the football on offense, and then our defense has really, in the new structure that we're using, has really found themselves. And you know, outside of one or two instances on special teams, the first 5 weeks, our special teams overall has been great for us. So you know, obviously in any setting, there's a couple plays we'd like to take back, you know, but I'm proud of where we are.
Yeah.
I think it's helped us to build our character in a way that our program kind of needed.
Right. So, well, I'll tell you what, if there's anything that I've learned from your days here with Coach Mooter, is he can make an adjustment. He's very good at making an adjustment.
Very good adjuster.
He definitely did that, and it was like two different teams from, you know, after that week 3. Again, going back, and like you said, I'd love to go back and play those now and see what would happen, because I feel confidence right now. This Tioga team is rolling on all cylinders, and perfect timing going into district play here. Yeah. But going in, so last week, you know, I had it wrote down. Case Malone, who we'll talk to here in a little while. We're going to talk to the quarterbacks here tonight in the final third segment of the show. 17 for 18, had a great night throwing the ball. Had, you know, just he was on track, and I had him. You know, he was vying for that Security Sporting Goods Player of the Game. But as the night progressed, and you know, breaking tackles was Travis Adams. I mean, he had the 5 touchdowns, which I believe is tied or was a school record, I believe, for that young man, the senior running back. Had himself a night. So Travis Adams became our Security Sporting Goods trade. But when you have that many players that vying for that, you know, that top spot, and there was a lot of other guys that did a lot of good things, man, it was fun to watch. I know it was a fun game to call. I actually went back and watched it after we finished that night. And, man, it was just so much fun back and forth at the beginning, and then just Tioga kind of just stepped on the throttle there and just had their way with that Gina team.
Well, we had our opportunity before halftime, and so we're up a little bit, and then right before halftime, you know, they punted the ball and they had a bad punt. And I said, you know, this is our opportunity to, and I knew we're getting the ball after halftime again.
2 for 1,
and with their style offense, you know, they're going to struggle to come from behind. Like, they have to play field position and either keep the lead or keep it close. Because once you get up a little bit, they don't have the ability, you know, to score quickly most of the time.
Right.
And so, you know, we got the football there. I was really wanting a touchdown, but time ran out on us, so we settled for the field goal. But that put us up by 3 scores. Yeah. Then we got the ball back after halftime and scored. And at that point, you know, it was just kind of downhill from there.
Yeah, so. Ethan had a great night. Bridges,
Ethan
kicker,
did have a good night.
He was perfect with extra points. Had the field goal to end the half, and And something that Chuck and I talk about during the broadcast a lot is because the offense is so efficient and so quick and can make those big plays, sometimes that hurts your defense because they're right back on the field because you score so fast.
Yeah, it does. You know, we really, of course,
it's a good problem to have.
It's a good problem. It's a frustrating problem as a DC, and I've been there.
Oh yeah.
You know, I was a DC for an defense one year when I was coaching down south. I don't know about. It's been about 15, 16 years ago now. We'd score in real time in 90 seconds. And I'm like, I'm so aggravated at y'all.
Yeah.
Could we at least huddle or call a timeout? I mean, you scored faster than I can't even talk to my kids at all, and we're right back to playing. And so there's a little bit of that. But, you know, you have to outscore people to win. That's kind of the way football works. And so most defensive coordinators, they act like they're mad about it, but at the end of the day, if you're scoring, they're happy.
Yeah, so. Well, yeah, it frees you open a little bit there too. So going into that, Travis Adams is our Security Sporting Goods Player of the Game. As we got a packed house here tonight at Quebedeaux Cajun Cafe on Thursday nights. Every Thursday night, unless we play on Thursday night, we'll be here live here, and we appreciate the folks here at Quebedeaux's. Food's good. You can see with some of the camera angles Chuck's got going on tonight, it is a packed house here. We appreciate everybody coming out to support. It helps that it's also steak night.
I'm all about steak night.
I know it.
I'm a West Texan, and I'm all about steak night's a good night.
You can't go wrong with that here. So going into it against, I won't go into too detail on the way the game went Thursday night here as we played at home at the Reservation Thursday night. But Travis Adams had a 3-yard touchdown run. Let me see. Ponche came out with a 1-yard run. Then that beautiful pass from Case Malone to Kervin Johnson. Then another run, 35-yard run by Adams. Then the field goal. Then Adams, a 49-yard run. You're going to hear a lot of that. Malone had a beautiful 23-yard touchdown run. Adams again. And then a little mix-up at the end. Osteen, man, I was very, very excited for him getting that 34-yard touchdown run.
I was
at
too.
the last.
He's a senior. He does a lot for us, and he doesn't get a lot of recognition, but I was happy for him.
Yeah, it was well-deserved.
Yes.
I made mention of that. Love seeing it. And, of course, a lot of times when you put your seconds or thirds in at the end of the game when you're both big, it's more of a, hey, let's just eat the clock up and let's let them get a couple snaps. But he was running with a purpose that last.
Osteen's really fast.
Yeah.
He's just a really fast kid, and I was happy to got him a touchdown.
Yeah, it was a good night. So Travis Adams was our Security Sporting Goods Player of the Game. We're going to see that graphic showing up there for you. So congrats to Travis, the senior running back, for being that Security Sporting Goods Player of the Game. And then we also, like we do every week, we have the Southern Air Cool Play of the Game. And this week's was pretty quick. We figured this one out. A beautiful catch from Kervin Johnson from Case Malone. Helmet comes off and everything, still makes the catch. And I don't know do we have that? Go ahead and show that right there, Chuck. Case Malone now in the shotgun. He's looking to throw. He's got Kervin Johnson. Kervin into the end zone. Touchdown, Kervin Johnson. Touchdown, Tioga. 34-yard touchdown pass. So kudos to them for winning that award again. And man, that was a beautiful catch and throw right there from Case to Kervin. And we'll talk to Case Malone here in a little while as well. And then, of course, something that we wait till Thursday night to announce is our Express Employment Professionals. You have one job, and this is give a little love to the linemen that don't normally get a whole lot. But this week, I make fun of him every week at Red River Football because he seems to be in space when he's holding the down markers and all that. But Tarver Landry had himself a night. He was just everywhere in the right spot at the right time. So our Express Employment Professionals, you had one job. That award goes to Mr. Tarver Landry. So congratulations to that young man. And you'll see probably a picture of him up there. So congratulations. Well, that was Gina. That was a fun game. And I'm sure, Coach, you slept pretty good that night, at least somewhat comfortably, as much as you sleep. I know you don't do a whole lot of that.
I'd like to try it more, to be honest with you. I'd like to try a little bit more.
Yeah, but a big win. So Tioga 65-26 over Gina last week, and kind of got the momentum going. What Tioga needed to come into this ball game. Very, very impressive. Back-to-back wins there for Tioga. And so what we're going to do, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and we're going to talk to Coach Cook, and we're going to talk about Wassman, the Wildcats out of Monroe area. First time we're getting to see them. New district rivalry here now that new into the district. So we're going to talk a little bit about them, but we'll be right back here on Reservation Roundup with head coach Kevin Cook live at Quebedeaux. We'll see you in a minute.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our mobile app today.
In Central Louisiana, you might see me at the ballparks or soccer fields, or we might cross paths at the grocery store. I'm your local Farm Bureau insurance agent, your local expert when it comes to protecting what you love and depend on. I'm Jason Hawk. Learn more about how Farm Bureau insurance can save you time and money, So talk to Hawk at 318-791-HAWK and let me help you protect your biggest investments. Real service, real people. Farm Bureau Insurance.
To better serve our Senlaw family, Wallace Eye Associates proudly welcomes Louisiana native Dr. Nicholas Bro to the Wallace team.
I definitely feel very lucky and fortunate to be here with Wallace Eye and just to be practicing in Louisiana, born and raised and trained here my whole life. So I do feel very fortunate to be able to give back to this state that has given me so much.
When it's time for cataract surgery, there's only one team, one focus, your vision. Wallace Eye Associates.
Welcome back here. We are live at Quebedeaux here every Thursday night for the Reservation Roundup with your head coach, Kevin Cook. And, Coach, we talked about Gina last week playing on a Thursday night. You get the recuperation a little bit. I enjoyed Friday night. I ain't going to lie. I got to sit at home on Friday night.
I enjoyed it, too. I don't mind playing on Thursday, just to be at home.
Especially if it's a home game.
I don't mind playing at home. Those away games is not very fun.
Yeah, which we do have later on. Not looking ahead too much, but just talking about the schedule a little bit. We do have, again, a Thursday night game later on against Grant on Halloween night.
We typically play Grant on a Thursday, and
it fell on Halloween this year.
That's on their end, not necessarily our end, but it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm all about it. So.
Yeah, my bride-to-be is very upset. I don't get to take the grandson trick-or-treating that night, but it's okay.
I know my family will amen this wherever they're listening from, but I know I'm a party pooper and no fun. I hate Halloween.
Yeah.
It's the most miserable time of the year. That and Disney World, I wish they could get rid of both of those
I'm double
things.
dipping because I'm going to Disney World in December. That's going to be our trip.
I'm sorry. You're my friend, and I'm sorry for you. I'm sorry for you.
Sorry, we're going for the 2-year-old, and that's it. He probably won't remember any of it, by the way.
I'd rather dig a hole somewhere.
But shifting gears here after all that. Now I need to call and be like, look, I don't know if we're going to go to Disney World. Coach Cook talked me out of it. I don't think we're going to do it. No, we're going to go. Anyway, next week, Friday or tomorrow night, should I say, we're heading to Monroe. Up 165, heading over to Wasman, the Wasman Wildcats. So Tioga's 2-3 going into district play. Wasman's 2-3 going into district play.
Yep.
Should be a fun night. And you and I talked off the air. Neither one of us has ever been to this building, all the years that we've been doing this. And I was blessed enough to be part of it when you came in to Tioga. We played at almost every Monroe school you could think of. But
played a bunch of them.
Yeah, never got to go see the facilities at Wasman, but they look pretty nice.
Everything I've been told, it's a 1 or 2-year-old field, turf field, and, watch it from video, everything looks nice. I've been told everything there is nice. Visited with their coach for quite a while this week, and he's a great guy.
Yeah.
It's going to be their homecoming, and I'm sure it's going to be rocking, over there. And that's what I like. I mean, I want to not even be able to think straight because the band is just blaring and all the fun things that go with it, So I'm hoping for that environment. I think it'd be great for our kids, and it's just fun to coach in.
Yeah,
so.
And it's a new face into our district coming in. Of course, Wasman and West Ouachita now are in our district. So, and it just so happens we go both places back-to-back in the next 2 weeks. So, back-to-back trips to the Monroe area. And then, of course, the rest of the year, it's pretty gravy as far as travel-wise because you're either at home or you go to Grant or, Peabody and all that. So, it should be a whole lot, after these 2 weeks. But the Wildcats, and again, you and I have talked a little bit, they've got a young quarterback. A freshman quarterback that's getting his footing there. And it should be a fun matchup with our young defense and their young offense.
I think it will be a fair fight. They are a little younger on offense. We're a little younger on defense. They settled in a couple weeks ago and just kind of named the freshman their quarterback. And, And I think they've been better since then on film. They look a lot better on offense since they just kind of picked a guy and stuck with him. And I think they made the right choice. He's very dangerous with his feet, and he can throw the ball. I don't. It's hard to even express it. He has such a powerful arm. I've seen the ball fly through the air over 50 yards in this kid's
You know what
hand.
it is,
right? And he's in the 9th grade.
It's
I was
the
hoping
chicken
he was
nuggets
in
at
the
McDonald's
12th grade or something like that.
It's chicken nuggets at
I'll
McDonald's
buy a
is what's
bucket of
doing
them
it.
chicken nuggets, I can tell you that. So, but no, he's very talented and a lot of team speed around him. Number 21 for them can take the top off on anybody. It doesn't matter who they play. He's probably the fastest guy on the field every single week, no matter who the opponent is. And if he's not the fastest, he's the second fastest. So he's really a problem as it relates to their offense, and they'll do some different things with him. But just overall great team speed. Their defense brings 6 starters back from one of the best defenses statistically in their classification last year, and a lot of size and a lot of power. Their safety is maybe one of the fastest foot speed safeties we've seen all season. And they have an inside linebacker and a defensive end that are probably as fast as any receiver we have. And so just a lot of defensive team speed over there. So even if they step wrong, they can make it up quickly. So really got to have our best. I feel like it's the best defense we've seen by a long shot. I don't even think it's remotely close. I think they're by a landslide the best defense we've faced all year, and probably next to Sterlington being the second best defense. And then, like you said, on offense, they're young, but it seemed like they begin to hit their stride the past few weeks like we have.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a great football game, I believe.
So tune in. Of course, we want everybody at Waspin High School, head on up there to Monroe and watch the game. We'll also be live streaming that tomorrow night, 7 p.m. will be kickoff. Waspin, again, coming in, like I said, they're 2-3. Started the season, lost to Bastrop. Then they lost to Ouachita, 5A Ouachita, the Lions there. Then they turned around and played a familiar opponent with Richwood early on. Again, I think that was before they were really getting that foot. And they did beat Richwood, but it was only a 14-8 ball game. And like you had said, that's a big rivalry. So that always means something for them.
You can almost throw a rock from one score to the other and hit it. They can't be a quarter. They got to be less than half a mile apart. So when they get together, it's on.
Right.
I mean, it's got to be on.
And it showed with the score being 14-8. Yeah. And then turn around, they lost to Iowa. And then last week beat Carroll. And you said, of course, I watched a little bit. I didn't get to watch the full game of that because they do a good streaming over there. You said they won by a fake.
Well, to me, the fake punt is what changed the momentum of the ball game. It wasn't the final touchdown. It was their second score, I believe, if I got my order right, so bear with me. When you watch as much video, it all kind of starts to run together by Thursday night.
But it was a deciding factor, pretty much.
It was a deciding factor. It just kind of snuck it had to have been a 55. Went to 21. Direct snap to 21 on the fake punt, and, they couldn't pull his flag.
Wow.
I don't think they touched him. I don't think they breathed on him. 55 yards into the end zone very, very quickly. So, that was the play because, each offense has scored, took a couple touchdowns, but that was the difference. And, when you get into these type ball games, which is what I feel like we'll be in Friday night, those are the things that make the difference,
Absolutely.
And we know they're going to onside kick. They do it regularly. And so, those are the things that swing the pendulum, so to speak.
Well, like you said, they're hitting their stride on offense. We're hitting our stride on defense. It's going to be an absolute fun. Make sure you come out there, try to pack the house again. It's going to be a lot of people there. It's homecoming at Waspin.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be rocking.
I sent the message earlier in the week to Chuck. I didn't know if he knew or not, but I follow them. Anytime we play anybody, I follow them on either Facebook just to see if I can get some film or whatever. And I saw all the preparation for homecoming, and I was like, Chuck, did you know that it's homecoming? And he said, wow. I said, yeah, it's going to be a crazy, crazy night.
Yeah.
So make sure you try to get there early. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. And at least it's on a Friday night, so we got Saturday to come back a little bit to kind of recoup right there. But it's not too far of a drive. It's really that little trip up on 165 is really not that bad.
It's an easy ride, and the stadium's easy to find. Us right on the highway, so it's going to be an easy trip. It's going to be a great night of football.
Absolutely.
Which is exactly what high school football is supposed to look like. So
that's it. So what we're going to do is we're going to, as you could see some of the film work going in by our producer extraordinaire, Chuck Perkins. It's a packed house here at Quebedeaux on Thursday night. And I love seeing all the Tioga tees on all the on the shirts and hats. And even
definitely,
Bo's got a Tioga hat with a Florida State jersey on over here, so he's really
our
confused.
Special guy. Every program has to have that special guy. Bo's our special guy.
He definitely is special.
I love that guy.
He's eat up with Tioga, brother. He loves it.
Man.
He loves it to death. So
definitely.
And of course, his family there over there, the junior high. I've been trying to keep up. Tioga Junior High playing a big game tonight against Brain.
They are.
That's going to be pretty much for that little that district there. I say little, but and right now Tioga's up 6-0 in the second quarter.
Well, good. So I'm glad we got an update on that.
Yeah, Coach Travis Racine and them trying to win another district championship for
Go
Tioga.
Braves.
Absolutely. Look, we talk about it every year about how awesome it is to have that feeder school that gets preparation, and that's why you got freshmen that are making big plays. The sophomore, of course, Ethan Bridges coming up playing young, but prepared because they follow the steps that you do here at the high school, and it just makes it an easier transition for the junior high. And they always, he's built a powerhouse down there.
They've done a good job over at our junior high, and I think now they have almost a very different administration now that I think is going to help athletics out even more. And so I think the best is yet to come over there.
A former co-worker of yours, huh?
Yeah,
now the principal,
legendary baseball coach at Tioga High
Hill.
School, and athletics is going to be close to his mind. Not that it wasn't close to the other people's mind, but he's the next coach, and so he gets it. And I'm thinking that it's going to be good things to come over there academically and athletically. So
absolutely. So we're gonna go ahead and take a break as Chuck's over there licking his chops. I think they just brought some food. Our food is over there by Chuck. We better take a break. So we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're gonna talk to the quarterbacks. So it's quarterback night here on the Reservation Roundup. We'll be right back here on 446 Sports. You better go.
Just haven't met you yet. I might have to wait, I'll never give up. I guess it's half timing and the other half's luck. Wherever you are, whenever it's right, you'll come out of nowhere and into my life. And I know that we can be so amazing.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Harrell, Certified Residential Appraiser. I am currently a leading provider of appraisal services for mortgage lending, employee relocation, estate planning, and community property settlements. My experience in real estate over the past 13 years and currently serving as president of the Greater Central Louisiana Realtors Association has given me a clear understanding of the real estate world and the ever-changing market we live in today. For any of your valuation needs, give me, Kimberly Harrell, a call.
Are home problems turning your life upside down? Trust Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing to save the day. From keeping you comfortable to plumbing repairs and even generators, we do it all. Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, your one-stop solution for AC, plumbing, and generators. If you need us to save the day for you, call Southern Air Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing or visit us online at southernairnow.com.
And welcome back here. We are live at Quebedeaux here. Every Thursday night is the Reservation Roundup. I am Billy French, your voice of Tioga football. Of course, my partner behind the camera. He's got a face for radio, Mr. Chuck Perkins. And we're here with it's quarterback night. And, of course, our quarterback's coach, Mr. Ryan DeVore. Am I saying that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And your first year coming on board here with Tioga. And, man, we just talking a little bit off the air. It's nice to come in with a veteran quarterback that really makes you look good, huh?
Yes, sir. Especially, when you get thrown in that spot at a young age, like Case said, like I heard last year as a sophomore.
Right.
I think a little bit as a freshman, too.
Yeah.
Just you grow and you see more things as – the years go on, so it helps a lot on Friday nights.
Well, I'll tell you what, you've done a fantastic job. Especially from this year to last year, and of course, over the course of the year and 2.5 years, because I know he came in, at the middle of his freshman year, but he's been able to really extend the field this year, especially this year. First year, of course, he's trying to find his footing, a lot of dump offs, a lot of little short passes. This year, he ain't hesitating to sling it down there, and that bodes well. A great job by you of freeing him up. And we knew he had the arm. I've watched the young man since he was a little kid, Red River Youth and all that kind of stuff. So we knew he had the capabilities. The offense now definitely runs through him. And, man, you guys are just on all cylinders right now.
Yeah, it's fun whenever, I've watched a little bit of film from the last year just to see how much his arm has grown and gotten stronger. And, like, as Coach Cook has said a few weeks ago, just when you get older, you get a little bit stronger and things like that. And he is athletic, so he can get out of the pocket and throw. And it helps to have guys like Kervin and Angelo to throw to, and Ryan Reeves. So
it's an added bonus having all that.
Definitely.
I mean, you've got a dump-off guy. You got somebody that you can beat down the field, and then you've got that third down guy. And we'll bring in Christian, too. Christian does a great job of getting those first downs on
he's
third
going to catch the ball.
Absolutely. So that frees him up. But, man, I'm telling you, the record doesn't show how good this Tioga team is right now, but we're improving that every week. Of course, playoffs are still out of the grasp right now, but it's just we're just now starting district play. So the way we played last week against that Gina team, I don't know if anybody in our playoff seedings want to play against a Tioga team firing on all cylinders like that.
And we knew that coming in, that we had the capability of doing that. And just a few turnovers here and there, kind of stop drives and things like that. And that's going to happen at the beginning of the year. Timing's going to be off. You got to get that during practice with routes on air and stuff like that. So as you've seen through the weeks, we've hit more deep shots and things like that, and that loosens the box up. And now you see why Travis runs for 5 touchdowns and stuff like that.
Oh, what I say it every week. The running game is set up by that play action pass.
100%.
And having the fact that not only can Case throw it down the field, but Case can tuck it and run and throw somebody down. And what he does. So the way the balance of the offense this year has got to be so much fun for you as a coach to the freedom that you're going to have, because it doesn't matter. Like in that Sterlington game, we come up right at the beginning and throw one deep, and it just it's a bobble and we don't catch that. But that changes the whole game if that wide open touchdown, and it's been like that all season long. And if you go back and you can on every one of our broadcasts here on 446 Sports, a lot of times early on in the game, if we miss or we barely overthrow that one guy, or he didn't quite catch it, I've made mention. I was like, just hold off, because those will start falling 100%. Here soon. And when they do, you better watch out, because not only if we can bust one right down the middle for 55 yards on a run, or we can throw it over the top for 55. And it's nice to have that balance.
Exactly. And you're thinking about that, and so is defense. As soon as they see that, they go, okay.
Yeah, because he was beat by 5 steps. The only reason the touchdown wasn't scored is because either you just missed it, or it was just a hair fraction off. Case coming in here. Of course, you're a veteran. You've probably done these as many shows as I have out here, buddy.
A couple times.
Hey, man, I'm telling you, it's been so much fun watching you this year to grow up, and I say that in the football ways, because you've been able to throw it a lot more further downfield.
Yes.
And I know it's fun for you as a quarterback to be able to do that. Well, you haven't ran the ball that much this year compared to what you've done the first 2 years.
No, sir. I have not.
Which one do you prefer? Do you prefer to sling it, or do you prefer to drop?
I prefer to throw it.
Do you like it? That's a real quarterback.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, but look, the shininess is always about throwing the ball here. But it's nice to see if your first read's not there, your second read's not there. Let me throw that shoulder down, tuck it, and go and run somebody over. And then I can see the confidence building every year. You're a Malone. You're cocky. That's just I seen your dad here. Like he walks around like he owns the place. That's our buddy. That's Owen. I've known him for a long time. He coached my kid. We love Owen Malone.
Yes, sir.
And you know, you've got expectations, and I hear him in the sidelines.
Oh,
you know,
yes,
and I know you look up at him during the game and everything, but man, it's so much fun to watch how good you. And I don't mean to take anything away from your freshman and your sophomore years, but man, have you just excelled this season on being able to throw that ball down the field? It's awesome.
Yes, it was also us all summer long. Me, Curvin. We just gone to the field multiple times after like practice and stuff and just working on it together. And that's what really helped us a lot this year.
I enjoyed it during the scrimmage when the offense came off the field, and you didn't know that I was watching you, but this is what I do for a living, so this is, you know, I check on this kind of. I seen you come off the field and immediately go to Curvin on either it was a bad throw, it was an incomplete pass.
Yeah.
And then you went up to him and you put your arm on his shoulder. It's like, hey, next time do this. Just, you know, and you started talking to him, and I was like, look, that's the leader that you want to have as a quarterback, because y'all are only as good as the chemistry that you have, and you got to be able to read something. You might see something that he doesn't, and vice versa. And man, it's just fun to watch it because Curvin, again, y'all have won the Southern Air Cool Play of the week multiple times this year.
Yes.
I had you circled down because you were having such an awesome great. You were 18 and 19 this week, 245. And then Travis goes and runs 5 touchdowns. I mean, I can't. Look, I would have been hosed if I wouldn't have picked Travis on that just because he set a school record.
Yes.
But, I mean, it's fun to be able to have 5 rushing touchdowns. Kenny threw in a rushing touchdown, of course, and then later on, Osteen had a touchdown run. So you guys are scoring a whole lot of points. It's got to be fun to be on the field.
Yes, sir, it is. Definitely.
Well, you know, of course, he's a heck of a quarterback. He's an okay down marker holder at Red River Football. Look, these guys, when they come out there, it's so fun to watch them because they got drinks in their hand. They're in down markers. But I will say you guys are a step. You and Reeves are a little bit better than Tarver Landry. Like the other night, I watched him do it, and they were like, we're waiting on you guys. Y'all better come on. They were at their union break getting them a drink. So, but super fun. We're going to turn the mic over to a future quarterback here. Here we go. Lawton Wynn. And Lawton, man, of course, you're a freshman coming into this year. Tell me, how much fun is it to be on the varsity? And I was very impressed during the scrimmage. I got to watch you throw, and I had never met you at that point. And I was like, oh, who is this kid? Who's number 12 out there just slinging the rock right there? And so tell me, how much fun is it to come to varsity and getting to learn from a veteran quarterback and getting to be a part of this big Tioga tradition?
It's very fun with Case being close friends with me. We just learn from each other, and we just learn to be better.
Absolutely, I played it a little bit when I was younger, and then I was a baseball player. I just quit football and just started worrying about baseball. But the quarterback position is so important. It's so crucial, and not only can you throw it, but you got to be able to run it. You got to be able to. It's almost like not every time being the captain of the team, but you've got to be really smart to play quarterback. I mean, because it's not just having the capability and the athletic ability. You got to have it up here. And I know from everything that I've seen on the field when you do get into the games or when you do get to play in the JV and all that, I got to watch a lot of that too. Man, you seem to have all the tools, and it'll just get better and better. So how long have you been playing quarterback now?
This is my 3rd year playing quarterback. I've only played football for 4 years.
And you played at the junior high at what school did you went to? Tioga Junior High?
Yes, sir. My first year I went to Pineville Junior High, but I transferred my 8th grade year.
We'll forgive you for that, but it's okay. We'll let that slide, being that you're an Indian now. But it's got to be fun, man, to experience all the traveling that you get to go do. You get to go see all these. Again, whether you're mature or not, when you're a freshman, it gets a little overwhelming. Absolutely. So I know it's got to be fun. I've seen your dad's out here supporting you, and so I know he's got to be proud of you to be able to just having a son that's a quarterback. That's a big deal. It's a big deal. And Coach, it's what you look forward to as a parent. You're proud. because that's the highlight spot. You know what I mean?
It's all fun and games until things go wrong.
Yeah, it's always a fun when things are going well, but when it's not, they're going to blame you for every little thing. So tell me, now that this is your couple of years that you've gone, is quarterback what you see yourself wanting to do? That's the spot that you like to be in? You're
Yes,
comfortable
sir.
in that?
Yes,
That's
sir.
all. See, again, that's not for everybody. You got to have that mentality to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and take the whole team on my shoulders and try to do the best. Well, Coach, going into this, how many years now have you been coaching football?
This will be my second year.
This will be your second year?
Yes, sir.
So, again, you know, being with Coach Cook, I am a huge fan of Kevin Cook. I've been there since the day that he took over. He coached my son. Which Case's older brother, one of his older brothers, played with my son their entire lives. They never. He played for Owen at Red River football. Then he came over, and Coach Cook is a big part of the reason my son played Division I football. Was first team All SWAC, was captain of Southern University, and now coaches at Grambling State University. So it's got to be a thrill to be able to come coach under the tutelage of Kevin Cook.
Yeah, I love it because he kind of just, when I came in, he was like, you know, this is your spot. You take it. Whatever you need to do, that's what you can do. And I mean, he doesn't micromanage or anything like that. Like, you know, some coaches can, but he just lets us do what we need to do. And when we have endo, he just kind of watches, and you know, and that's kind of what a head coach is supposed to do. And he's done a great job of that, obviously.
So you're only as good as your assistant coaches. I mean, that's football 101 because you guys do all the. I'm not going to say that, but I'll tell Coach that because he knows we're good friends. Y'all do the work, really, like the hard, the grinding every day. He oversees everything, make sure, you know, of course, and he's the one that's responsible for everything. But the one-on-ones that you guys do is just absolutely mind-blowing. The hours you put in. It's crazy. I know him and I have talked over this for a few years. The per hour pay, if you figured it up, is absolutely horrible, man. And then you guys turn around and have to, at the end of the games, you drive back from St. Monroe, where we're going to go tomorrow night, and then you got to go wash uniforms. You got to do all this. So people don't realize the hours, the time, the effort, the away from your family that it is. So I appreciate you guys because I know I'm exhausted on a game that I go call and we have to tear down and do all that. I don't have to go back to the field house and do laundry.
Put stats in, do some laundry, watch some film that night.
And then wake up the next morning and come back and do some.
Yes, sir.
So we appreciate you, Coach. That's going to be that's our coach here for the quarterbacks, Mr. Ryan DeVore, of course, Case Malone, Mr. Lawton Wynn. Good to have both of you guys on. I'm sure we'll see you before again by the end of the year. So stay tuned. We're going to come back. We're going to do the final segment with Coach Kevin Cook. We're trying to get an update on the junior high score. I know they were up earlier on in the second half against that Brain, but we'll try to figure that out. We'll be right back. This is a Reservation Roundup here live at Quebedeaux in Pineville. We'll be right back. Mike's
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks right from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. Download our mobile app today.
BK Distributors is proud to support high school athletics on 446 Sports. BK is the one-stop shop for trophies, banners, awards, letter jackets, and just about anything award-related. And now, welcome BK Apparel and BK Promotions to the family. For all your spirit apparel needs and anything you need to brand your business. When you think of anything you need with your name on it, think BK. Check them out on Facebook or at bkdistrib.com. BK Distributors, Apparel and Promotions in Pineville.
And welcome back, everybody, here to Quebedeaux in Pineville. This is the Reservation Roundup with your head coach, Kevin Cook of the Tioga Indians. Every Thursday night here at 7 p.m., we will have the show here and talk about the week prior's games, the week that's going to be coming up. And then we'll talk to some skill players like we just talked to the quarterbacks. Really like that Coach Ryan. You can tell he's got his stuff together. Really, really nice young guy.
Absolute, gold mine of a find with him coming over to us this year. I would love to keep him here as long as possible, so I'm going to put a shameless plug in. His wife's about to graduate her doctoral school.
Oh.
She's going to be a physician, and so any local hospitals who would like to have a great doctor, because we'd like to have a great quarterback coach.
That's right.
We'll just reach out to Kevin Cook at Tioga High School, and everybody wins.
That's right.
So she's going to be looking for a job. She graduates this year, and she's done an outstanding job and traveled all over the country. And so I've been trying to talk to her about how great Rapides and Cabrini are. So
do we need
doing
good
my
doctors?
best recruiting I can. So.
Look, you do everything. You handle it all. You got your hands dipped in everything.
I'm trying.
Well, speaking of, and this is something that I've never asked you, and I thought of it during the break on how, if maybe you can go into this, maybe you can't. What's the process on when you're looking for assistant coaches? How does, because, of course, the turnover's high. Yeah. When you have a team as good as you've had the last 10 years, your coaches go take jobs at different places. They go up into a higher position or whatever. How do you find coaches like DeVore, in your process, if you don't mind me asking?
No, I don't mind at all, because it's really changed. When I first became a head football coach, and 13 years ago, you'd put an ad out. I have a couple different sites, for coaches that you put an ad out, and you may get 25 or 30 applications or resumes. I'm sorry, and if it was a coordinator spot, you were definitely getting 30, maybe more, and almost all good quality applicants. Now there's a bad coaching shortage, and we put an ad out a couple of years ago. That ad never got answered for 2 years. And so we were really, really blessed, and I'm so thankful to the Lord that, we got Coach Brumfield over here this year, got Coach Ryan over here. It's just been very difficult to hire coaches the past few years. And I've always said this, the higher the stakes get in high school football, it is really diminishing our coaches. And people aren't getting into it like they used to. And it's just made it very difficult. It takes a special person to coach high school sports in general, but particularly high school football, because the hours are long and there really isn't any money involved. I know that people, I guess, think that there is, but
not in Louisiana.
You're barely getting more than the lady teaching English. And now with the new state law where they're having to pay teachers for time spent after hours, every coach we have is the smallest paid person on the campus, because that $42 an hour obviously is way more money than what we're making for coaches. And so it's really put a knife into the applicants of coaching, if you will, and now we're really bleeding. We were bleeding before, now we're bleeding really bad with that new state law. So, but the guys that we have are in it for the right reason. They're not in it for the money. They're in it for the kids. And those are the guys that you want. You just met one right now. He could be doing a lot of different things. And let's be honest, his wife is going to get a job being a doctor somewhere.
He can be a stay-at-home dad.
He can be a stay-at-home. That's right. I tell my wife all the time, I was like, anytime you want to get rich, I'm into being a trophy husband. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you, buddy. Absolutely.
Look, I will cook and clean like a wild maniac. And I'll take care of everything.
I wouldn't be ashamed of one bit.
I'll wear an apron. I'll buy an apron and wear it.
Kevin Cook.
Amen.
Chef.
Amen. I don't want to go into any other details about that, but I will wear an apron. So, but no, the coaching realm has changed quite a bit. But like I said, you find these guys, these little, I call them golden nugget guys, and they're in it for the right reason. So they don't care if you pay them at all.
Yeah.
I coached for free for 3 years, and never even thought twice about it. And so, these guys are great men, but I would encourage any young listeners out there today who have a passion for sports. That's fine. but you have to have a passion for kids too,
Yeah.
and then you have to have a passion for teaching. People think that coaching is something different than what it is. Coaching is just teaching. That's all it is.
Right.
We are just teaching football. We're not doing any kind of magic out there. It's just a really warm, large classroom, with 100 people in it, and that's what we're doing. And so you have to have a passion for education, I guess, is what I'm getting at, because we have a job to educate people. I'm a math tutor at the school. That's what I do. I tutor the kids who come in who need help with their math. And you have to have a passion for that, because if you're not any good at that, you're not going to be any good after school.
Right.
And then the school doesn't want you.
Yeah.
And so it's a very unique person who gets into high school football coaching, and I just would tell anybody who's even thinking about it, come by and let me explain it to you, and let's get some people out there who are interested, because we need more great people in coaching.
You've definitely got to have a deep, deep love. Again, the money is, we've said it 100 times. Of course, I completely agree. And you have such a fantastic staff.
Absolutely.
And I told
Great
that to
staff.
Coach Ryan. I was
Every
like,
one of them.
a head coach is only as good as his assistant coaches. The people he hires to do all, the things that he, of course, head coach, you can't work with every kid individually. It's impossible.
Mm-hmm.
But, man, I'm a big fan. I don't want to single anybody out, but Coach Book is just, that's my dude right there. Yeah. He is so good. And I love
He's
the passion on the sideline. And he told me the other day, he's like, I'm up in the box now. He said, so I'm not down there jumping up and down and hollering. He said, but I'm hollering in that headset.
Absolutely.
So,
that's true.
But, your coaching staff just every year just seems to be so good. They all love you to death, of course, and that goes to show by people like Coach Mooter who stay, you know what I mean, and Coach Book, Coach Landry, all these guys that it's the biggest compliment to me when your defensive and your offensive coordinators come back multiple years. Because again, there's a coaching shortage, like you just said.
Yeah.
There's so many opportunities where they could go maybe somewhere else,
Well,
maybe
there's just
make
so
more money
much
or whatever.
other money to be made out there, and if you have a family, and it's hard. You go home and your wife and kids are wanting something or maybe needing something. You can't afford to buy it for them. But you're
you
working.
Can't go get a second job,
You're
because you don't
working
have the
1 million
time.
hours a week, and it becomes that aspect becomes difficult. But the reward is, Sunday was National Coaches Day, and I'm not a Facebook guy, but my wife is a Facebook person. She sends me the screenshot of a kid who graduated for us 2016. Absolute wonderful person. And sent me a real nice message. And then, I visit with your son, Jalen, and just different kids. And then I don't care about the money. I don't care about the time that I spent. I just, that means the world to me personally. That's the payoff. It's not about a state championship trophy. And I always try to explain this to our younger coaches or people getting into coaching. Like, if you're getting into this to win a state championship trophy, then you're in it for the wrong reason. Because there's only a few people that get one every year. And, statistically speaking, you're not going to be one. But if you're in it for the right reason, then the reward is always there, regardless if the trophy shows up or not. And then, in the good years, and it all comes together, you got a shot at winning that. And that's, what we're hoping for this year. We've got the ball rolling now. We're hoping to make a run at, a district championship, but you have to win the first one to get one.
Yeah.
And that's this week with Wassum. We're going to try to go over there and win the first one to try to get one. So
well, with the momentum, you want to be clicking. I don't want to keep repeating the same thing, but clicking on all cylinders. Well, you are doing that right now, heading into the perfect time to where it really counts in that district play.
Yeah.
Of course, starting off the season, with the shortened playoff seedings now, instead of the 32, it's the 24.
Right.
But we made a huge jump just in the last 2 weeks, with the schedule that we've played. Of course, it helps, with playing the Sterlington. I love it. When the schedule came out last year for this year, I knew it was going to be tough opening up with that Sterlington, but I was so for it, because I was like, it doesn't matter the outcome of the game. These young men are going to be so ready when it comes to that playoff time that they're going to be prepared. And it's playing the team of that caliber is always, to me, a big deal. And plus, it's a big school. It's not a big school in size. It's a big school in tradition and how good they've been for the last 10, 15 years.
Well, it was definitely a deal where we wanted to upgrade our scheduling, and we were able to do that, and it has been with a younger team, you're going to have some growing pains. We had those in those first few weeks, but I think, our feet are on the ground right now. Now, can we win every game we have left? I don't know. That's why we kicked the ball off. You just don't ever know what's going to happen, But the reality is we're going to try to go win the first quarter Friday night at 7 o'clock. And then when that quarter's over, we're going to try to just win the second quarter. And that's it. And then the third and the fourth. There is nothing. We're not trying to win 35 games, and we're not trying to think about the Superdome. We're just trying to think about, can we win this first quarter over here? And, it's going to be a very excited environment, and our kids are going to have to weather the storm of that initial adrenaline in an away game for a team like this and the tradition that they have and the homecoming environment. And that's going to be a big test for our young team. And I think if we can do that and we can get settled into football after all of that, because that only lasts a few minutes in your body.
Right.
Just the human body can only take so much adrenaline. And once that settles, then we just need to get into playing football. Well, then we're going to find out what's what. And that's what I'm hoping for. And I'm hoping to be in it in the fourth quarter and to have a chance to win it. So
absolutely. So district play starts tomorrow night. What you got, Chuck?
I was going to say, Coach Cook, you said something a long time ago, and I hope I don't butcher what it was, and please correct me if I'm wrong. But you said, I think you described Tioga as a small, big school.
Absolutely. I've always said this. I got my teeth cut in 2A football, but I've always said, Tioga High School is a 2A school trapped in a 4A body.
Yeah.
And in the 5A playoffs. So to make it worse.
You're absolutely right about that.
But that's who we are. We're really a 2A school, but we're trapped in this, 4A and then 5A select playoffs. But at the end of the day, we got great kids.
Yes, sir.
They haven't done it yet, so I don't think tomorrow night will be the first night. So I'll go ahead and say, they will almost always go out there and lay it on the line for everything that they can and do their very best and fight as hard as they can fight. Sometimes it's enough, sometimes it's not. But, at the end of the day, I've always been content with this. Whatever the scoreboard says, did we play our best?
Right.
Now that doesn't mean we didn't make a mistake, but did we give our best effort? And if we've given our best effort and the ball didn't bounce our way, that's football. That's life. That's just the way life goes. I got a young man we're going to put a prayer request in tonight here on the radio for. He's getting married as we speak right now. My wife's doing the pictures for the wedding. A 24-year-old young man ended up with esophagus cancer.
Wow.
Just a nurse. Just got out of nurse school a few years ago. Got his whole life ahead of him. It's not something he could have prevented or done anything about. Sometimes the ball don't bounce your way, but it's how you respond to that. He's had such a great response to it and just been happy the whole time. And I just, y'all could, I'm not going to mention his name, obviously, but if y'all could just remember Coach Cook's friend when you pray. I know he would appreciate it. He's going through chemo and everything else and fighting for his life at an early age. But the things that we learn in sports, if we really will take the opportunity to apply that to our life, it can really be a blessing to everything that we do and everything that we touch, whether it's in our job, our personal life, our spiritual life. It can really be a blessing, everything that we do. It isn't really just a game to me. And if it ever became just a game to me, I'd probably quit because it has to be more.
Yeah.
It's one of the most educational things that the school has to offer. And I'm proud for all of my guys who are involved in it. And my prayer is that they absorb every single lesson that they possibly can, and then they apply that to, the next 70 years of their life. So
absolutely. I feel like we should take up an offering right now. I am all for. I'm enjoying this right now.
I'm sorry about
this.
This might
look.
Y'all got me stirred up, and I'm sorry.
Look, I just had. I don't know if it's the word epiphany is the right word, but we always talk in that final segment. We always talk about we'll talk about the junior high. We talk about that. I want to start bringing in the final segment brought to you by Pastor Kevin Cook. Yeah. And I'm serious. I'm not joking. And let's translate football over to what really important, which is raising these young men into the world and being better young men. And if you wouldn't mind, and I know I don't want to add any more onto your plate that you already have, but this final segment is going to, I'd like to start bringing that in, and let's talk a little bit about some motivational and some stuff that can translate and make people better human beings.
Yeah.
We'll talk about football for about 50 minutes, but then let's bring in some really life lessons
here. We can make it easy. We always have a word of the week.
There you go.
That we're using to help define or differentiate males and men. So you walk out in our stadium, you'll see underneath the big metal signs in the tunnel, it says male or men with a question mark. And so the one thing that we do on Thursdays is we take about 15 minutes and we take a word of the week and we talk about how that word defines a man and how it differentiates from being a male, because that's two different things.
Absolutely.
The Bible makes it clear that there's two differences there, because the Lord has said at one point on earth, he said, I was looking for a man, could find none. Well, when you research that, there was actually about 25 million males on the planet at that time, but he said none of them were men.
Oh, wow.
And so that's the way we kind of introduce it in the preseason, the thought process, and then we go through and we just talk about, like, one of the words of the year this year was responsibility. Well, what does that mean? And how does a man accept responsibility? You know, it's not just carrying out the trash. It's taking responsibility when things don't go right.
Absolutely.
And bearing that burden for your family and for your wife and for your children. And so we take a word, and so we could just end each segment each week if you'd like to going forward. I'll share the word of the week and kind of the thought process that we just had that Thursday after practice to try to help these guys. Because I believe this. I believe God gives us tiny little male babies, and it takes all of us to turn them into men.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Really, realistically. So.
And I want to just add something what you just said there. And this is not meant to embarrass you. It's not meant to hype anything up. But if you look around and just watch other folks, you're going to see some of these folks distributing those character traits, responsibility. Mm-hmm. Billy and I were up at Sterlington, and we were up there cleaning up. And I'm sorry to get all emotional about it. But we were cleaning up, picking up our equipment. We looked down on the field, and who do we see out there picking up stuff on the field? Coach Cook and another player was out there.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not meant to say, hey, look at our guy.
I asked him to take a picture. I remember that.
Our question was, our coach is better than your coach,
that's
kind of thing. But
that's
I mean,
that's
why we were proud of you, because not just you, but another player came out there, and that was that fathering kind of that nurturement
lead by
that
example.
I feel like you always bring to the program.
Well, it has to, for those guys, I'm not here to point the finger about things to be done. I'm here to say, well, we're going to go pick up this together.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to leave a bad name by Tioga High School. We lost that football game, and we're sore. I mean, nobody wants to lose. Nobody's happy after a loss. But, we're going to pick up the locker room, we're going to pick up the sideline, and we're going to leave it a certain way, because that's who we are as this program. And no, I absolutely don't. I'm definitely not above, picking up the
you
trash
lead by
after the
example,
game.
and you've done that
That's
since
right.
the day you stepped into Tioga High School.
Well, because
and we
you want
appreciate
to
it.
express to your kids, and I tell them this all the time privately. I'll say it tonight publicly. I don't know if I ever have, but a head coaching job to me, you're a servant of the community. You're not here for the community to serve you.
Right.
You're here to serve the community. And I look at myself as being the community servant. Whatever the community wants for me to do, then that's what I'm going to do.
Yes, sir.
And in this case, they want me to coach right now. I'm going to coach, and I'm going to do it a certain way. And if they call me and they want me to do this or do that, and I'll go do those things, whatever they want. And whatever my principal tells me to do, I'm going to do those things too. So, but that's the example that our kids need. That's the example all those men over there in the red, Tioga coaching shirts and hats are doing also. And so I'm really proud of all of our coaches, and hopefully, we're planting some seeds. Whether we see the growth today or we see the growth in the future, the growth will be there. I believe that.
Absolutely. And 446
so.
Sports, was based on that, the accountability. You have a job, a purpose, and to show people how to be a better human being. And so absolutely, yes, sir. I'd love it if that wouldn't take too much of your time at the end. The last segment, we'll have like a life lesson. The word of the day is fantastic.
I just shared earlier that night with that afternoon with the kids. So be good.
Stay tuned for and I know that guy behind the camera. He's going to have a really cool little graphic up there for next week. Probably this is going to be, like all something, whatever he does. But I know he's fantastic with that stuff. Not to put any extra work on you, Chuck, because I know you do a lot already.
You wouldn't do that to me at all, Billy.
But what a great show here tonight. We appreciate everybody tuning in here. Appreciate Quebedeaux for allowing us to come in and do this and feed all of our families and everybody enjoy themselves. And so we appreciate that. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Head up to Monroe on 165. Go to Wasserman High School and watch your Tioga Indians start district play against the Wasserman Wildcats. For Billy French, Chuck Perkins behind the camera, working making sure everything's good. Thank you, Coach. We appreciate everything that you do here in Tioga and in Central Louisiana, period. So thank you for everything you've done. What a great show tonight. I'm very, very happy it turned out the way it did. Of course, it's a way. God works in mysterious ways how we get this stuff done. But so I appreciate everybody tuning in. Stay tuned. Tomorrow night, we want to see you at Wasserman and pack the house. We'll be out there. Thank you so much. God bless, and we'll see you tomorrow night.